15 years ago, I sat across from a friend in a Starbucks, nursing yet another brutal hangover. I had questions about her new life after quitting drinking. So, are you happy now? Are you still having any fun? How did you quit? She fills me in for a bit, and then right there in the middle of the cafe, she hauls out the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and passes it to me. Oh my God, I am freaking out. Mortified, I want to crawl under the table right then and there. I don't even think I'm all that bad. I mean, yes, I like to drink, but I don't, I haven't lost my anything. I haven't lost everything. I still have my child. AA? I don't know much about it, but I know I am not going there. Our coffee ends, and as she hugs me goodbye, she tells me to hang on to the book. How did I end up here? Working professional, single mom of a 2-year-old, all is well, or so I believed. Yet, just a few days earlier, something new had happened after I'd put my son to bed. I wanted to pour myself a glass of red wine, as I always often did. And just as I was heading to the kitchen, I was confronted by a voice. It said, "Lisa, how do you see yourself continuing to drink the way you like as your son grows up?" I thought about my younger self. I hated watching my mom drink. Growing up, how many times had I begged her to stop? I thought about my son. How many times had I rushed his bath and bedtime so that I could get to my bottle more quickly? This intrusive voice had woken me up and interrupted my denial of my addiction. I don't know where I crossed the line, but I was tired. Tired of the secrecy and tired of the pain. Tired of the perpetuating cycle of my shame. So, about a week later, I asked my friend to take me to my first AA meeting. When I went in, I was filled with fear. But something happened there, and I left with a tiny shot of hope. So I went again to another meeting later that week, and I kept going. Eventually, I realized that giving up was no longer an option. That inner whisper knows. Listening allowed for a new script rewrite of my life story. At first, I felt paralyzed with fear that my life would get smaller by quitting drinking, but instead it expanded exponentially. That voice was the catalyst to the very best plot twist. We can't let our ego and fear keep us from hearing our inner truth, denying our greatness. Doing so blocks our infinite potential. About 6 months into my sobriety, I took some of the money I used to spend on wine and opened an RESP for my son. A humble amount has been getting deducted every month from my bank account for the past 15 years. This month, the last payment came out. My son goes to university in the fall. I was amazed to learn that I have accumulated enough to practically cover his 4 years in residence. Was any of this, had I continued to muffle that voice, I wouldn't be here sharing this story. And who knows what sort of person my 17-year-old would be today. Was any of this easy? No, not a bit. But when we pay attention to those little voices and take what seems like impossible steps, we manifest rewards beyond anything we could ever imagine. Thank you.